Being one of the most prosperous countries in the African continent thanks to its vast oil fields, Libya has turned into ashes and an open-air slave market for black Africans thanks to the regime change war of NATO in 2011. After the fall of Gaddafi, the North African country was divided between rival governments in the east and west, and among multiple armed groups, including ISIS, competing for quotas of power, control of the country, and its wealth. Of course, the mainstream media, the trumpets of NATO, claimed the war was necessary to protect the civilians from an imminent slaughtering by Gaddafi and to export democracy and human rights there. However, one of the over 3,000 Hillary Clinton emails released by the State Department in December 2016 contains damning evidence that Libya was purposely destroyed by NATO and Gaddafi was brutally killed by the Islamists because France wanted to maintain its financial stronghold on the African nations. The NATO war was not for the protection of the people, but instead it was to thwart Gaddafi's attempt to create a gold-backed African currency to compete with the Western central banking monopoly. After 9 years of war and conflict among the rival groups supported by different external powers, the Libyan crisis is heading towards new horizons, where neo-Ottoman Erdogan is increasing its interference and even planning to send troops to Libya. Additionally, Erdogan has already sent part of his terrorist proxy militants from Syria to Libya. We always wondered where the terrorists of Idlib will go after being bused from different Syrian cities to Idlib. Now some of them are being exported to Libya. But what does Turkey want from Libya? Libya is a country rich in oil and gas reserves that borders important Mediterranean trade routes. A lot of Turkish companies were already active in Libya under Gaddafi. Among other things, Turkish companies were also involved in numerous lucrative construction projects. Precise figures aren't available, but the volume of investment is believed to have totaled several billion US dollars. When the conflict between the Turkish-Qatari NATO-backed Government of National Accord (GNA) and the Russian-Saudi-backed General Haftar broke out, many of these construction projects were put on ice, and Turkish companies working in Libya lost a great deal of money as a result. Consequently, the more areas Haftar seized from GNA, the smaller the chances the Turkish companies will see their money again. So the scramble for gas in the Eastern Mediterranean underlies why Ankara is sending forces into a conflict that has nothing to do with Turkish national security. The increased Turkish involvement in Libya is alarming for Egypt, which is completely logical from a geopolitical and ideological perspectives. Being one of the regional powers in the region, the last thing Egypt wants to see is a hostile expansion in its neighborhood. And let's not forget that Turkey was one of the main supporters of the ousted Egyptian president, Morsi. Thus, Ankara's policy is hostile towards the current president of Egypt, Sisi, and supportive to his main opponent, the Muslim Brotherhood, which is considered a terrorist organization in Egypt, Syria, and Saudi Arabia. In this complicated situation, Saudi Arabia supports Sisi, and one of many other crises in the region, there is a mutual ground between Saudi Arabia and Syria, mainly in countering the Muslim Brotherhood and stopping the expansion of Turkey in Syria and Libya. So will Mohammed bin Salman reverse the policy towards Assad and open a new page with Syria? Regional developments and secret diplomatic and security meetings indicate that there is an attempt to revive the relations between Damascus and Riyadh. Only recently, Syria's Al-Watan newspaper reported that the permanent representative of Syria to the UN, Dr. Bashar al-Jafari, participated in an event hosted by the Saudi ambassador, and that Riyadh is extending its hand to Damascus after 9 years of enmity. But will the relations be friendly? I don't think so. But anything that serves the interests of Syria and the Syrian people should be welcomed. I've been your host, Kevork Almasyan of Syriana Analysis. Credit goes to the Patreon community that is supporting this channel financially on a monthly basis. If you like to support my independent work, please visit patreon.com/Syriana Analysis. More details in the description below.